Hello, you all. Welcome to this new edition of Lectio Musica, the place for great music, great lyrics, and great meaning. My name is Guylain Prince. I'm a Franciscan friar from Canada, and I love rock music for a long time, especially hard rock, metal, and prog. And we are in a series. Let me give you the screen. We are in a series of 10 weeks, 10 songs of the Canadian band Rush. This is the 5th week. The song is Tom Sawyer. Now, last week I did the song Spirit of Radio, the reaction video in French, the analysis in English because the song is in English. Earlier this week, I did the reaction video of Tom Sawyer. So if you haven't seen it, go back to the channel and try to find my reaction video to Tom Sawyer. I really loved it. Now here's the analysis as usual in English on Friday or on the Fridays or Saturdays. Now don't forget you can subscribe to the channel and you push the little bell and you will have a notification that the new videos of Guylain is out, and you will have the title and you will know if the topics interest you. Now let's dig into the song. This is the first song of the album called Moving Picture, which is the 8th album of Rush in 1981. It's nothing short than I would say a classic of rock's history. Now the composer, as usual, composers are Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson. The lyricists are Neil Peart and Pye Dubois. It seems that Pye Dubois, I would say, presented to Neil Peart a sketch, a first draft of a song about some kind of modern hero, and that was one of the topic of Neil Peart wanted to explore. So they blended a little bit of their part. He reworked quite a lot the lyrics, but all together they came out with a beautiful text. It's a unique structure, as we will see. You have pretty much what we could say. There's no clear-cut chorus in that song. I would say there are two verses with a chorus quality. I mean by that the quality of the melody, but they decided to do something else with it. They have 4 sections that we call here A, B, C, D. 4 sections. And these 4 sections are repeated. So it's a basic structure of A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, what we call A prime, because it has the same melody, but it's an adaptation with a slight variation. This is why the A prime. Now the bridge, the main bridge of the song, is between the second A and the second B. Each section has a unique blend of chord progressions, time signature, and at some and the guitar, it changes a lot. At some point it's only a support to the line of the bass, but it goes from there to melodic chord progression, solo. Wonderful work by Lifeson. What is unique also is that every section has at least a few measures of instrumental only, creating the climate. We say the climat in French. By that, we say in English, more precisely, the mood. So every verse has 4, sometimes it's only 4 measures, sometimes a little bit longer, of the instrumental, I would say, parts. It is very, very well done. So let's dig into the song immediately. The intro, very short, like I said, just a small taste of the music behind the words. I don't remember if it's only 4 measures, but it's very short. Only drums and synth, nothing else. It is, I think, it's the most recognizable of all introduction, opening of a song that is only with drums and synth. Very short, punchy, impossible to miss. You hear the first measure, you know it's Rush, Tom Sawyer. Hear the beautiful voice of Geddy Lee, because I love the voice in 1981. A modern day warrior, mean means tried. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride. I think that musically, this is what you have. This is the announcement, musically, of some kind of a modern warrior, or fighter, if you want. A modern day warrior. How will he proceed? This is what we will say. Mean means tried is the fact that there is a movement. Mean, it mean here might be mean, like bad, or it can be average, or it can be mean. Has many meanings, and I'm not sure the ambiguity is here, especially at the end of the song. You will see why I think that there's an ambiguity, and it's on purpose. Now, I think that here we have, like I would say, a description of the music. There's a do-stas. This beat is means tried. You can feel it. Today's Tom Sawyer. So the entrance is the march of a warrior, of a today's Tom Sawyer. So the song is not about Tom Sawyer. It's about today's Tom Sawyer. It is about a modern Tom Sawyer. Of course, we will see who is Tom Sawyer in our analysis of the words a little bit later, but it's a modern day Tom Sawyer, and there is a mean pride, could be fierté in French, a positive thing. It can be also, it looks like it's a little bit vaniteux. Mean again, you have the same meaning. It can be taken in so many ways. So I suggest that you keep up for now, that it is I will say it's a description of the music behind the words. Let's see what this modern Tom Sawyer does. Though his mind is not for rent, don't put him down as arrogant. His reserve, quiet defense, riding out the day's event, the river. Here is the description of your modern Tom Sawyer. His mind is not for rent. He is a free mind. Don't put him down as arrogant. Don't crush. Don't say he's arrogant. Don't say bad things about him. Okay. His reserve, arrogant, reserved people, the people who are a little bit more introvert, you say in English, introverti in French, they sometimes, when they keep this reserve, we think that they are arrogant. He says, don't do that. It's not because there's a reserve that the person is arrogant. And this arrogance, or this reserve, if you prefer, is a quiet defense. Riding out today's event, riding out, the person is literally floating on a river, and also he is keeping himself a little bit outside the day's event. And it's important because it will come back at the end of the song, this notion here we have of the day's event. So the person has a reserve, maybe you could say a distance from the day's events. And all these events, they make a river. We will see what it means. I think I understand a little bit, but You will be as usual, you know. I never expect to be perfect or to be good. I might make big mistakes. As long as you want to discuss down here in the commentary section, I love it. So prove me wrong. I don't care. I want to understand the song. Okay, third paragraph. What you say about his company is what you say about society. Catch the mist, catch the myth, catch the mystery, catch the drift. This is A+ writing. I'm telling you, this is first class writing. What you say about his company, what you say about when you are with the person here, it's not a company like a corporation here. It's his company, the fact that you are with, in fact, the word, this is what it means, to be with. What you say about what you say about when you are with them, be careful, because this is what you will say about society. And I will come back to this line because I think it's the key of the song. I think it's the key of the song because be careful when you talk about this modern hero, because this modern hero embodies what a lot of people expect or hope to live. You will see. We will. So this hero has something that escapes us. Catch the mist. Can you catch the mist? You cannot catch the mist. You cannot catch a myth. You can understand, you can try to understand the refreshment of mist. You can understand the mystery of a myth. You can get something of the mystery, but can you catch it? So be careful when you talk about the hero. Maybe you try to catch it. You try to we say discerner, to circle a hero. You won't get it. You won't. In fact, he's telling you the hero cannot be catched in a way, like the mist, like a myth, like a mystery, like a drift. No. So it will always escape you. So be careful when you talk about the modern heroes, because you're talking about something as complex as is society. Get it? Let's go. The world is love and life are deep. Maybe as the skies are wide. The world is. And you will see that there's something else that is. The world exists. The world exists. Don't try to catch him. Don't try to catch the hero. Don't try to catch the world. Love and life are deep like the skies of the world. So don't try to catch it. It's way beyond your understanding in a way. Paragraph 5. Today's Tom Sawyer again. He gets high on you. Now, there is the indication for me. Who is this modern Tom Sawyer? Because before that we could say, oh, Tom Sawyer is what, from literature, someone in the past, and no, but this Tom Sawyer of today, he gets high on you. Who is the you here? I suggest that the you is the listener. He gets high on you. Who gets high on you listening? Yeah, that's a good question, eh? And the space he invades. What is that space? He gets by on you. He gets by. He will continue because of you, and you as a foundation. I will suggest something to you for now. I leave it with you. There's today's Tom Sawyer. He gets high on you listening. I think you begin to see who is the modern Tom Sawyer. Yeah, I think you see, eh? The bridge is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I think it's one of the most iconic bridge I know. I've been reading few things lately, and it's still today considered one of the most unforgettable piece of rock music. It's built from. I will not go into details here. I've been listening it to the bridge 2-3 times since I did my reaction, and how I understand it is that there are bass lines that are some kind of a basic melody, and the bridge is made of some pieces taken from the previous sections, and they expand it and they develop some elements. The bass line becomes extremely intricate, the drums. So that's why I say all instrumentalists raise their game in that section from, I would say, it's a variation of parts of the previous verses. With praises, I think it received so many praises that I cannot. You know that Neil Peart, before the age of 40, he was a member of the Drummers Hall of Fame as the very best drummers of history. Before he was 40, I think he was 38. He's unbelievable on this, unbelievable. There are changes in time signature. While I find it very melodic, I think I would call the bridge the real star of this song. It stays very melodic, very nice to hear, but I worked on this song a lot of time because there are many techniques to master to do that song. And I'm very, very impressed with the fluidity of all the musicians in there. Now, the sixth, so we are in the section of the kind of the melody of B. You remember B the second. No, is mine is not for rent, a repetition, to any god or government. Always hopeful, yes, discontent. He knows changes aren't permanent, but changes. A repetition of his freedom is not for rent. To any god of government, he will be at the margins of any religions or governments or structure. I would say more generally human structure. Always hopeful, yet discontent, never satisfied. There's a foundation of hope, but at the same time, in dealing with reality, there's always a discontent. He knows changes are permanent. So this is pretty much the source of his discontent. The changes, the evolution are not permanent. You have a movement of goodwill, and it changes something, but 10 years after, you know what happens. But still, change exists. Change exists. That's how I would read that section. What you say about his company, what you say about society. Same thing as the first. Be careful of what you say about him, because there are a lot of people thinking like him. And then catch the witness, catch the wit, catch the spirit, catch the spit. It's extraordinary. Catch the witness. Yeah, the hero is the witness of something happening in the heart of a lot of people. Catch the wit because he caught something of he was able to, and please, usually wit is fast thinking. Catch it because you will lose it. Catch the spirit, catch the mind, catch the vision that you will have. Catch the spit. How can you catch the spit? There are many ways. I suggest to you, because he's talking not too far from you, meaning by get close. I would read it that way. Be close. Try to take everything you can take from his words, and the image catch the spit. I don't think it's very. I would say it's not a very beautiful image, but it's a great line. Great line. If you have another understanding, when do you catch the spit? You know something? When somebody spit on you, if you will try to avoid it, of course, but if you catch it and you just, it means that you don't let the others impress yourself. That could be another way. Anyways, I want to hear you about these lines. I don't think there's only one understanding. The world is, love and life are deep, maybe as his eyes are wide. His eyes, for me, if you get close enough to catch the spit, you will be able to see how wide are his eyes, how wide is the vision he has, the modern hero. Exit the wire. I think he's describing what's happening musically. Now the hero is leaving now. Today's Tom Sawyer. Do you begin to understand who is Tom Sawyer? He gets high on you. And the energy you trade, he's talking about who? He's talking about us, listening to their music. Better even during a show. He gets high on you, and he gets right on to the friction of the day. Isn't that a great song? The finale, it's a small cycle that they do a few times with a synth melody built on the basic chord progression, repeated all the way to fade out. So for me, today's Tom Sawyer is going to the next friction of the day. So this song is a beautifully crafted song. It's unbelievable. It's incredible. With an unusual structure, this mood setting before every section is wonderful, and the exceptional bridge in our middle section makes it one of the very best that rock has to offer. And I'm telling you, in terms of musical construction, this is great rock, great rock, great music, exceptional. Now, in terms of lyrics, it's based on the character Tom Sawyer from the novels of Mark Twain. Now, in popular culture, Tom Sawyer is synonymous with generosity, anti-conformism. He is courageous and he is free. So I think that on that basis, Rush depicts today's Tom Sawyer as generous, as courageous, as free, and as anti-conformist as well. So, especially in the first section, sections A and B, there's a description in He about today's Tom Sawyer. You wrote that I changed at the top of that card. I changed the title. In fact, the title should be Today's Tom Sawyer. It's not talking at all about Tom Sawyer in the past. It's about a modern day Tom Sawyer, somebody who recognizes himself in the character from the novel of Mark Twain. So the way he describes musically as well as in terms of lyrics, he describes himself as a warrior going against conventions, sometimes against society. There is pride in his freedom, a little bit like the original little Tom Sawyer. Sometimes there's maybe a little bit of vanity. It's a little bit more, and this little vanity looks like arrogance. He keeps a safe distance between himself and this world that he calls the river. Now, there's a section in you, and I think you should look very closely to that section, these sections as CD. What you say about him is what you say about society. There's the mist, the myth, the mystery, the drift. The world is love and life are deep, are wide as the sky. The hero, Tom Sawyer, is loved for good reason, for a lot of reasons. Why? Because Tom Sawyer is the incarnation of a lot of people expectations. So if you comment on this today's Tom Sawyer, in fact you describe a lot of people in modern society. So be careful what you say. Now, this today's Tom Sawyer, what can we know in the second portion of the song we know about him? He gets high on you. He gets by on you. You, as the listener, the audience of a concert, is Rush a modern Tom Sawyer? Description of one Tom Sawyer of today. He claims his freedom like the old one, and changes aren't permanent, but change exists. This is what you get from the second half of the song. Now, there's an imperative again. Catch the witness, catch the wit, catch the spirit, catch the spit. His eyes are wide. So he's talking, when he say, catch the spirit, I think that the modern Tom Sawyer is talking to you. Do you get it? Do you get who is Tom Sawyer? Exit the warriors. He tells you that he's exiting. He gets high on you, and the energy that you traded. Yeah, when do you trade energy with Rush? At concerts. Because of concerts, the modern Tom Sawyer can continue his war, can continue his fight for freedom, for generosity, for everything that they stand for. So, and he gets right on. At the end of the song, it's written, he gets right on to the next friction of the day, the next friction. And here, friction, you can understand the encounter of the hero in modern society. So, on you, he gets high, and he's ready for the next day. So, now, the understanding of the title, Today's Tom Sawyer. To me, there's no doubt that today's Tom Sawyer is Rush, and probably more precisely Neil Peart himself. As a musician, he has a safe distance from the world, from the river, and he is both fed by the audience, but fights against the world in general. He is in the world of the music industry, but at a distance from religions and governments. He describes himself as a modern, maybe the word hero is not exact. I would say he recognizes himself in Tom Sawyer with his generosity, courage. You remember these courage, generosity, freedom of spirit and of mind, and also a little bit against conformism, you know. He recognized himself in that character of Mark Twain. Yeah, that's what I wrote right after. Freedom, generosity, courage, to fight for ideals, knowing that change are not permanent. It is still relevant and worthwhile to fight for them. And don't forget, Rush is there one evening. The space he invades, he gets by on you. Rush, when they enter a stadium, they invade literally. And I think this is what you have, is as if they are the promoter of a new mindset through their concerts, and they literally invade stadium. by their music, by the sound systems and the lighting and everything. But the critics, modern critics of Mark Twain, they say the anti-conformism of the original Mark Twain is, it's anti-conformism, but within the frame that adults consider to be acceptable. The little Mark Twain, the little Tom Sawyer is still accepted in his village. Of course, he makes things, but he is still accepted, and he has quite a lot of success, in fact. So I think the little Tom Sawyer is a symbolic representation of the position, the posture of artists in our world. Very critical of the world, but ultimately, they are being fed by it. And what you say about his company is what you say about society. They are still part of society, and they are fed by that society. They can be very critical of it, but ultimately they are part of it. And I think this is a very ambiguous posture that you have in that song. It's paradoxal, we say in French, paradoxal. You are critical, but at the same time you are part of that world. And the artist's posture is pretty much to be at the margin of religions, of governments, but at the same time you are part of that society that you are. It's possible in the Western world to criticize that world. And there's also, now that you know that I've been a drummer for 13 years, just for leisure, don't worry. I want you to appreciate the posture of a drummer. He is behind his drums. He is safe. He occupies a safe distance from the other musician, from the crowd. And he is an observer. Like at hockey, the one who is the goalie, he is an observer of the game. The drummer is an observer of the stage, of the crowd, is reserve, a quiet defense, is also the posture of the poet. And I can tell you, as a drummer, we hide ourselves behind big stuff very often to hide that we are big bears. We are very sensitive people. So we protect ourselves with, I would say, an instrumental army, armature, shields. That's a way to be behind your drums, to protect yourself because you're too sensitive. Well, I think there's a little bit of that in that today's Tom Sawyer. Anyways, just say crazy thought of a Franciscan from Canada and think whatever you want, but I want to read you though. This is it, guys. I had so much fun. So much fun. I hope you will have by listening to that. Next week, it will be Limelight from the same album, by the way. The sixth one. There will be the French reaction on Wednesday, the analysis on Friday or Saturday. And don't forget, you can subscribe to the channel if you like. And I've been blessed by your suggestions. Because you are the one who suggested that I go back to Rush. It was one of my teenage love, and I enjoy so much to go back to that. It's remarkable. Okay, 5 other songs to go, and in about a month and a half, we will continue with another band. So, what a great journey, isn't it? For now, bye-bye, see you next week.